Hello, everyone. Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rainbow.
And it's part B, day 2 of our What to Eat During Chinese New Year
Happy New Year!
episode. Happy New Year. Gongxi, gongxi, everyone. And we've been looking, along with the characters in our dialogue, at some of the foods that people here in Taiwan will traditionally eat. I think a lot of you guys are familiar with them. We've learned about them yesterday. We'll learn more today. But I was wondering, Rainbow, because I know you've spent some Chinese New Year's in Hong Kong as well. Are there any big differences between like the food people eat or the activities, the things that happen in the city? Are there big differences between Hong Kong and Taiwan?
Okay, small differences with the food, but mostly I think the atmosphere feels like Christmas in America. Now, it's not Christmas, but it's just that the decorations are everywhere. You see these lion dances at every single shopping mall. There's like sales for 1 month. Everybody gives each other red envelopes, even if you don't know each other.
Really?
It's very much like your family isn't just your own family, but it's everybody.
Interesting. So if you go out, there'll be more activities going on, decorations everywhere. If you go to the shopping mall, is there sort of special Chinese
Oh my gosh,
New Year
the music is so loud
playing
all the time.
We get a little bit of that in Taiwan.
Just a little bit. It's tame.
Yeah, but then stores close down and a lot of people kind of go back to their families.
They leave Taipei.
They don't go out and spend time, outside, downtown, shopping as much. So that is quite a bit of a difference. So there you go. There are some differences even between places that are really close to each other, Taiwan and Hong Kong. So kind of cool. I might think of going to Hong Kong to spend
worth it.
Chinese New Year. Yeah, that would be a nice trip. All right, guys, let's get back to our article with what to eat during Chinese New Year. The dialogue will begin right now.
Maggie and Jerome continue to talk about the food.
What are those flat white squares? Are they tofu?
No, they're radish cake. It's another traditional dish and...
Let me guess. It's a symbol of health because it's white.
What to eat during Chinese New Year Part B. So we have Jerome and Maggie who are continuing to talk about the different types of food that we have during Chinese New Year. Maggie and Jerome continue to talk about the food.
That's right. And Jerome is now noticing, something that might be a little hard for him to identify. He looks at it, he's like, I don't know what that is. I mean, you look at a chicken, it looks like a chicken.
Right.
You look at a fish, it looks like a fish. You look at this dish, and Jerome goes, huh? What are those flat white squares? So he kind of describes it. He tells Maggie what he's seeing, but he doesn't know the name of the dish. In fact, he doesn't even know what the dish is made from, and so he guesses. He says, what are those flat white squares? Are they tofu?
I bet they are.
Are they tofu or tofu? Well, that's a good guess.
Yeah, tofu. So flat is something that is not thick. It is very flat, like a piece of paper is something that is very flat. It's not tall, it's thin. Or you can say this is very flat. So if I'm talking about a flat surface, it's like a table. It doesn't have a lot of ups and downs. It's just very, very flat. So many things can be flat. In this case, we're talking about a type of food that's flat. It's not round, it's just flat. And I'm guessing that it's probably a tofu because it's also cut into squares.
Yeah, that could be. So if it's flat, it's kind of even. It goes straight across the top. And here's also the shape of it. It looks like a square. That's how Jerome described it. Flat white square. A square is a shape kind of like a triangle or a circle, but a square is 4 sides and it is equal on all 4 sides. It's not longer on 2 and shorter on 2. That would be a rectangle. A square is equal on all 4 sides. If you think of a chessboard or something like that, you're thinking of a square. That's the shape. And so flat, white, squares. Tofu does come in flat white squares.
Yeah, so tofu, it's exactly like it is in Chinese, 豆腐. So, yep, tofu, we have this a lot in Chinese food, we have it in Japanese food. It's that white, square, flat, or it could be rectangle. Sometimes it's like thicker, sometimes it's cut into flat pieces, sometimes it's made cold, sometimes it's made hot with fish. Tofu is a soft, or sometimes harder, it's white typically, or sometimes it's yellow, and it doesn't really taste like a lot because it's made from soy, but I love tofu, and it's especially common for vegetarians or people who don't eat meat to be eating a lot of tofu because it's a good source of soy and it has some protein.
Absolutely. And yeah, you find it in many dishes, both here, in Japan as well. They eat a lot of tofu. We should point out that if you go to Western countries and you say tofu, which might be closer to how people here say it, a lot of people might understand you. But if you're in a supermarket and you ask for tofu with a T, that is maybe more commonly used in English. All right, let's get back to the dialogue. So is the flat white squares, he's guessing tofu?
Good guess.
Is he correct?
No.
Oh.
But it does sound like it would be tofu,
It does
right?
sound like, but it's not. So what are those flat white
It's
squares?
萝卜糕. So Maggie says no, they're radish cake. It's another traditional dish.
And just at this point, Jerome jumps in before she can explain more because he thinks he knows the answer. She was about to say something about it, and he thinks, let me guess. He says, I want to guess. I think I know what you're going to say, in other words. He says, let me guess. It's a symbol of health because it's white.
Oh, good guess.
So he's kind of getting into how all of these dishes have different meanings. So he's trying to guess the meaning of this flat white square dish. He's guessing that since it's white, that is the traditional meaning. It's all about health. Well, when we talk about the meanings of foods, when we talk about holidays and why we do things and why families and cultures have been doing things for many, many years, we're talking about things that are traditional.
Yep.
They're part of the tradition. They're part of the common actions and ceremonies of certain cultures. For example, in Western culture, it's traditional for people to get married in a church. The woman might wear a white gown. The man might wear a black suit. They put a gold ring on one special finger on each hand. These are traditional things to do. You don't have to do it, but it's part of the culture, and many people do still follow those traditions. They will have the traditional wedding.
And here we have Maggie, who is trying to see if Jerome is guessing properly. So if you guess, that means you are not sure, but you think it might be related to something. So you have a guess, which means you look at the clues, you think about the reason why something might be, and you give a good guess, which means you give something that you're not sure, but you give an answer that you think might be true. Okay, so we are going to find out whether the guess is correct after we take our break right now.
Actually, it's for luck. The Chinese words for radish and luck sound alike.
Oh, so it's a play on words.
That's right. The same is true for the tangerines.
How fun and interesting. Is there anything else for luck?
Yes, the Chinese New Year cake is. We use the Chinese words in a saying to wish people a better future.
All right, so Maggie gives the answer. Actually, it's for luck. Okay, well, you know, health and luck, all good things.
True.
The Chinese words for radish and luck sound alike. Interesting. So again, it's about how it sounds. It's not exactly the same character, but it sounds similar. So the meaning is the same.
Interesting. And when we do that, when we take words that have a certain sound when you say them, but they also have another meaning, in other words, it could be another word that you're saying, as Jerome says, he says, oh, so it's a play on words. A play on words is the kind of thing that you do when you take a word and you make a little joke by sort of using the same sound of the word or the same meaning of the word in a slightly different way, maybe to make people laugh or to maybe make some kind of connection there.
Kind of smart.
Exactly right. For example, with a play on words, you might take a person's job, like maybe a basketball player who plays on a basketball court. Oh no, they get in a car accident, now they have to go to a law court, a court of law, so you might say, oh, the basketball player lost in this court because maybe he lost his court case, his legal case, but of course he's still a star on the basketball court, so we can use the word court in two different ways. Let's talk about the word luck now. Luck is basically when random things just happen to you and it's good for you. You didn't control anything, you didn't plan it, you didn't organize it, you just wake up one day and someone says, hey, you won $10,000 because you have a special number on your receipt or something like that. Did you plan it? No. Did you get ready for this? You were lucky, you had lots of luck. So people who like to bet on things, they wish for luck. Or maybe if you're just getting ready for a test that you didn't prepare for, you're like, I hope I get some luck and all the questions are really easy. I need something good to happen for me that I didn't control. It just happened that way.
Yep, and then next we have this adjective called alike, and alike means when two things are similar or they're very much the same. So if I say you and I are very much alike, that might mean that we think the same, maybe we speak in the same way, maybe we dress in the same way. And in this case, we're talking about words that sound very similar, or we're saying that the Chinese word for radish and luck, they sound like each other. So they sound alike. So you can look alike, sound alike, many different things that can be very much the same. Okay, so Maggie continues. Maggie says, that's right. The same is true for the tangerines. It's the sound of it.
Interesting. So the word for tangerines also means something else. It's also a play on words. And Jerome kind of likes this because, yeah, this is something that we don't do so much in Western culture, right? We don't have these interesting play on words with our food. So he says, how fun and interesting. And then as he looks at some of the other dishes they haven't talked about, he asks, is there anything else for luck? In other words, do any of these other dishes also have this meaning of luck?
Well, of course, our entire table is filled with
luck.
luck.
A lot of luck,
Yeah.
Yes.
Maggie says, yes, the Chinese New Year cake is. We use the Chinese words in a saying to wish people a better future.
Okay, and also the red clothes. Those
Oh,
are
yeah,
for
for
luck
good luck.
too, as well. All right, so we also have the word saying here. Saying is basically something that people often repeat. It's a little bit of wisdom. It might be something you use to pass on wisdom or an idea. We might teach kids sayings so that they, follow the rules and make the right decisions because, sometimes life can be confusing, but if you have a good saying that keeps you on the right path, this can be a good way of maintaining your goal and your focus on the right thing to do. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Waste not, want not. The early bird catches the worm. These types of things are sayings, little bits of advice that you might pass along from even generation to generation through a culture. Everyone knows them because they contain good knowledge and good ideas. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to have more from the table. Yeah, there's still more food on the table we haven't talked about. I know, crazy. So come back and join us tomorrow. I think it's we're going to be moving down to the dessert end of the table, aren't we?
Nice.
Yeah, so come back and join us for that, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Maggie and Jerome continue to talk about the food.
What are those flat white squares? Are they tofu?
No, they're radish cake. It's another traditional dish and
Let me guess. It's a symbol of health because it's white.
actually it's for luck. The Chinese words for radish and luck sound alike.
Oh, so it's a play on words.
That's right. The same is true for the tangerines.
How fun and interesting. Is there anything else for luck?
Yes, the Chinese New Year cake is. We use the Chinese words in a saying to wish people a better future. Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 tofu 名词豆腐。What is tofu made of? 豆腐是什么做成的？下一个单字 traditional 形容词传统的。In some countries, it's traditional for a bride to wear red. 在某些国家，新娘穿红色衣服是一种传统。Bride 就是指新娘。下一个单字 guess 动词猜测。Peter asked me to guess his age. Peter 叫我猜他的年纪。最后一个单字 alike 形容词相似的、相像的。Mary's children all look very alike. Mary 的孩子长得都很像。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 a play on words 文字游戏。Play 这里是名词，表示游戏、娱乐。我们来看看这个例句。The name of the shop is a play on words. 那家店的店名是一个文字游戏。下一个文法 how 加上形容词，表示多么怎么样这是一个感叹句的用法。我们来看看这个例句。
Where do you think these seeds come from?
They're from a watermelon.
Really? How weird.
最后一个文法 A wishes B something. A 祝福 B 某事物。Wish 是动词，表示祝福、祝愿的意思。我们来看看这个例句。I wish you a safe journey. 我祝福你旅途平安。Journey 就是旅途。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，回去记得复习哦。我们下一课再见，拜拜。
The Kaoshiung Main Public Library is in Asia New Bay area. Visitors can take the MRT or LRT to come there. This library is a large green building. There are many trees and plants at the building. There is also a garden on the rooftop. The library has many books and multifunctional spaces. The Kaoshiung Main Public Library is an excellent green reading place.